Guys, welcome back to Honest Straightforward Reviews. Today I'm really excited to bring you the M1 MacBook Pro review and unboxing, and this is a very special one. So this is the 16 gigabyte MacBook Pro. All right, I'll go through it, I'll unbox, and we'll have a bit of a yarn as to why I chose to go with an M1 MacBook Pro given my view on the M1 and the hype and things like that. Now, for my main computer, I have an iMac and I had a MacBook Pro 16-inch. So it was souped up $4,400 in Australia. So what I did was get rid of that, use some of the funds to get some of the components on this PC that I'm building. I'll have that linked below if you guys want to see the video on that, and the rest of it to soup this up completely. All right, without further ado, let's get this unboxing started. Now, the main reason that I was staying away from the M1 hype was, one, it's a beta testing. Okay, so it's the first of its chip, it's going to have a lot of issues, things like that. I was staying away from it for that reason, and that reason is a strong reason for a person like me who needs to rely on the MacBook. But I picked the MacBook 16-inch, and I use Final Cut. I use Final Cut for everything. I use all Apple stuff. It doesn't make sense for someone using Adobe or Premiere or Adobe Premiere or things like DaVinci Resolve to do this, but I use all Apple stuff. And what Apple did was, before Final Cut 10.4.6, MacBooks with Intels could use their GPU to encode HEVC, which is what I use a lot, okay? However, they now only use the CPU to do that. So that really handicapped the Intel processors, where the M1 does. So the M1 now is stronger than the Intel MacBook Pro even, but that's the reason, okay? However, if I can compare the absolutely souped up 13-inch MacBook Pro to this M1 would beat it, okay? Any day, it would beat it easily. So one of the reasons was, yes, I needed the funds to put it on something else, so that was a bonus, okay? The other bonus was, for what I use, it's absolutely fast, okay? The downside is I can't use my eGPU anymore, but the upside to that is I can sell my eGPU and hopefully use the funds again to get the computer, the PC that I'm working on. All right, guys, so let's look at the unboxing. So pretty standard. I've already unboxed a MacBook Pro M1 in the channel. I'll have that in the link. I've unboxed a MacBook Air with 16 gigs as well in this channel, the M1 version. So if you guys really want to have a proper look at the M1 unboxing, you can look at that. This is more of a review. So, all right, who else should do this? So people who are looking for a Mac right now should absolutely get the M1 MacBook Air. Absolutely, any day. People who are students, people who are just mums and pops using computers at work and home and things like that, and they need a computer to get their things done, they can do it, okay? But people who are editors and things like that and use a lot of stuff, especially if you're using other stuff other than the Apple stuff, so you should stick to Intel MacBook Pros. You should have your Mac Pro. I'm not going to be one of those crazy people to suggest to sell your Mac Pro, okay? I'll have in the link my test as to the M1 and exporting files, gaming and things like that. I'll have that in the description below. Please do check that out. That'll give you a bit more understanding of why I'm going down the track I am. Then watch this video and continue, and you'll get a bit more better picture of what I'm trying to do, you know what I mean? So yeah, so I thought to myself, you know what, like, the M1's going to beat my Intel. And right now what I was doing is, sometimes I would game on the MacBook Pro 16-inch and I'd connect it to the GPU and it'll lose a lot of power. So I was like, let's build a PC, okay, just for gaming, and I'll have it just for gaming sitting there. I'll do my PC testing on another PC, which I don't like to game on myself. And yeah, so I was like, all right, that's a good idea, let's do that. So I was like, all right, so I got rid of my MacBook Pro, sold it. And now the reason why I picked the MacBook Pro over the Air, okay, the Air one, you need to put, if you put like thermal pads in here and let the heat come out the back and cool it like that, it would, you guys have seen videos out there, I'm sure. So what you do is you put the thermal plates are somewhere here, so you put thermal pads there, so it'll link link it to your back plate and it'll cool through that. Sorry about that. Let's turn that off for a second. Anyways, so you would be able to do that, you know, and cool it, and it would run almost as good as the MacBook Pro. But my problem was that I'm in Australia, all right, and in Australia we get 3 years warranty on the computers, laptop, doesn't matter who's the seller who sells it and all that stuff. So you get 3 years. So for me it didn't make sense to stuff around with my warranty. I know it's really easy fixed and things like that. I just didn't want to risk it. One, now that's not the main reason. The main reason was the trackpad on this is bigger. You get a bigger battery, you get the touch bar. I use the touch bar a lot for my editing. Okay, you get a bigger battery. I use it a lot. I use it a lot, as in like I will fit and use it on my lap. I would lie down and things like that. So I need this part to be cool, not warm. When you put the thermal pads in there, this part gets really hot, so that's not ideal for me. So that is the main reason, and a few other things as well, small things like the brightness. So the absolute main reason for myself to go for the MacBook Pro, other than everything else, is the bigger trackpad. So I really got annoyed with the MacBook Air trackpad and bigger battery. So those were the main 2 reasons that made me go for the MacBook Pro. Now the reason I went for 16 gigs of RAM is because when I was testing, which I've got in the comments link for that video, when I was testing it, the 16 gig for H.264 was nearly twice as fast as the 8 gig in RAMs when decoding and encoding and things like that. So basically that's it guys from me. Okay, thank you for watching it. If you liked the video, it's a bit rushed, it was very casual, so if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, other people can find it. I just wanted to get my thoughts to you guys as soon as I could, and also subscribe to the channel because it helps me grow. It's a channel that I fund completely myself. I don't get any funding from anywhere or sponsors, hence it being honest and straightforward and unbiased. I've got Instagram, Twitter and TikTok as well. Please do follow me there as well, it helps out, and I've got Patreon as well, check that out as well. Alright guys, thanks for sticking to the end, I really appreciate that. Hope you guys have a great day. Take care, bye bye.